Good afternoon, everybody. This is Patrick Damore here at Patrick Damore Golf Instruction. And today we have kind of a new kid on the block. He's a rookie this year. His name is James Hahn, and this kid, this young man is going to be, I think, a star out here on this tour. And you can expect to see a lot of him on leaderboards, I think, this summer even. In fact, the first two tournaments of the year already, he's been very successful. I think he finished 63, 66 at Hahn or at the Sony. I mean, he can play some golf. He was number 4 at the Web.com Tour money list last year. Went through Q school, and we're going to look at his swing today. And basically, young kid. I think he's 30 years old, 29, what have you. But this young man has really good fundamentals. Again, what I teach with the on-plane swing are arcs, shoulders, and shift. Now, unfortunately, with this camera angle, the camera is not in a stationary position, so we're not going to be able to see the shift part of it. But what we're going to do is look at his impact position for sure. And at the top of the swing, as you can see from this face-on view, shoulders. We're going to get a shoulder position right here. And I'm not sure what, 15, 14, 13 degrees, whatever it is. That's about standard for most people. And you're also going to see his setup position is really on top of the golf ball. And that's something I like to see with the iron setup for sure. Now, we're not going to, unfortunately, be able to see how much he shifts his weight from back to front, again, because this camera moves a touch. And but in any event, let's get him at impact here. Again, right to the moment of truth. And again, here we go. Really good impact position. You can see his shoulders. Shoulder angle at impact. I mean, folks, that really hasn't changed from his setup position. Really good stuff. There's his setup. There's his impact. Again, the angle of the shoulders hasn't changed. Now, when you can do that, you basically are creating very similar backswing arc and forward swing arc in the golf swing. What I mean by that is similar, as in, you know, your idyllic look of a backswing arc, wide. Likewise, when I have an ideal forward swing arc, I'm thinking wide again. Alright? And when I have shoulder positions that are very, very similar, if not exact, in terms of their angle of inclination at impact to that of their address position, that is telling me, as an instructor, the backswing arc and the forward swing arc are very similar in angle, very similar in direction, and very similar in shape or width. And that's what this young man has. And let's take a look at his top of swing position here for a second. Try to get into this forward swing arc in a little bit more detail. There's his hand position there. Now, again, you know, with all these tour players, or most of these tour players and a lot of your good amateurs, the biggest nemesis we fight is this left hip taken off at the top of the swing. And again, then your hands are being outraced to the golf ball. And when they're outraced to the golf ball, your body has to make a slight adjustment, and basically the hands take a shortcut to the golf ball. Narrows up your forward swing arc. Alright, instead of the ideal having these hands travel a wider arc on the forward swing, they travel this narrow arc. Now again, these are exaggerations, but I'm doing this to kind of show a point. And we move him through the forward swing a touch. he doesn't get out of position to a very, very good impact position. Again, his shoulders at impact, his inclination angle of his shoulders. That's the wrong line. Let's get a straight line in here. Let's get a straight line in here again. And his shoulder inclination position at address. I mean, they're damn near identical. That's a huge sign when I look at an impact position that the backswing arc and the forward swing arc are very, very, very similar. And this Mr. Hahn does this very well. Now, let me pull up his down the line view here. You know, I like the old mythical Hogan swing plane from golf ball right up to the top of the shoulders and into space. A lot of these new swing systems are teaching very much around, and I'm going to show you, in my opinion, what around can create and encourage. Let's look at his posture first, though, folks. Again, very, very good posture. His spine angle and his shaft angle are damn near identical, or I should say damn near perpendicular. His arms are complete vertical. That's all really good stuff. When the arms are vertical like this, the hands have the ability to travel, they have the ability to be encouraged to travel more upright. Although in his case they really don't, and I'm going to show you that in a second here. Let's get the old Hogan plane up that I like to see, and let's get Mr. Hahn here at the top of the swing. Again, this camera's moving a little bit, so we're going to do the best we can here. I call this a flat swing, or a very much a round swing. And again, as long as the two swing arcs are very similar in direction, there's not much trouble with this. But this position here on the right can lead to timing and sync problems at impact. What I mean by that is this: when these hands are this far around, they, well, for one, they're already too far behind the body. Ideally, I would, if I was teaching this young man, I'd have his hands up here a little bit more, which allow the hands to travel that forward swing arc more in front of the body. Now, again, it's all about impact, folks, so it doesn't really, I mean, you can have the hands, God knows where, on this backswing, but if you get him in a good position to impact, which he does, that's the perfect impact position. That's why this kid's very good, and it's why this kid is going to win. Unless your short game isn't stellar, he's going to win a lot of money. You're going to hear from him. These hands have the ability to travel in front of the body and up and down the line a little better. When their hands are, again, this far around, they end up traveling an angle into the golf ball, a more severe angle into the golf ball, which he does, but he does it very well still. His impact position is very good. As you can see, his hands aren't quite stuck behind him, and that's really good impact position, even from a flat swinger. It's not tough to do that, but when you swing that flat and that far around your body on the backswing, on your days that you don't have good timing, what you'll see is you're going to see in my opinion, too far severe impact from the inside instead of more down the line. And again, when these hands are over here, what happens is they're more encouraged to travel that too far inside line instead of a down the target line position. But again, he doesn't have that problem, at least in this golf swing. He doesn't. Maybe his timing is good that day. Maybe he just has real good timing to begin with. But at impact, as you can see, I'm going to show you one more thing. See his right heel here? He has what I call quiet legs on the forward swing. And I like to see that on the on-plane swing. When his legs and hips are quiet, they're not taking off like a bat out of hell, so to speak. They're not taking off this way. He keeps them in check pretty good. When you have that right heel fairly flat on the ground at impact, that tells me his hips are not outracing his shoulders. And you can see very clearly in this picture on the right, they're not. If I were to guesstimate where his shoulder angle is or shoulder direction is, it's probably in that position. If I were to guesstimate where his hips are, they're probably in that position. There's not a lot of separation between those two. There is separation, but not an extreme amount where it gets you into problems. And as you can see here, if you look at this position at impact, the two elbows, or inside elbows, on Mr. Hahn here, you don't see any space in between them. That's really good. That tells me emphatically that his forward swing arc is very, very, very similar to his backswing arc. Similar in direction, similar in shape, similar in angle. And that creates a lot of consistent golf shots. Period. Now let's get him over here on the left end impact. Good. See? Now folks, I want you to take a picture, or take a look at this picture on the left. He has, again, he's on top of this golf ball. Again, this camera's moving a touch, but it's not moving a touch to where we can't explain something here. He's pretty vertical right here. That's really good stuff. Now let's go to the top of the swing. I want to show you one more thing here. There's his torso. As you can see, his torso is moving this way during the forward swing, even before impact. And of course, when we get to impact, he's even more in that position. And when we get to the top of the swing, he's in that very classic, as I call it, on-plane position at the forward swing, completion of the forward swing. Alright, he's got very level shoulders here. And again, I like to see for right-handed golfers, right shoulder, right hip, left toe, one line. Really vertical. Alright, he does not have a huge, big reverse C arc here, mainly because he doesn't have it here. Alright, again, this tells me his forward swing arc is very similar in shape as his backswing arc, very similar in width, very similar in angle. And all this creates and encourages down the line attack at the golf ball with the club head. When you can have your backswing arc and forward swing arc very similar in shape, size, direction, and inclination, this club head, this little club head down here, travels this target line more often through impact. Now by more often I mean maybe another inch or a half inch or an inch and a half. But that little amount greatly increases your chance for less side spin. Greatly increases your chance for shallow angle of attack. If we go over here to the picture on the left, you know, we're not coming down steep at the ball. We're coming in shallow. When we come in shallow, we direct the majority of that club head speed into the back of the ball towards the target, instead of into the back of the ball into the ground. A little less spin, a little higher launch. That's your, again, your key to distance. Very shallow angle of attack, and that's what this gentleman has. You see this a lot with these new kids in the last 15 years that are taught this. It's all about fundamentals. It's all about good positions, and quite frankly, it leads to very consistent impact positions. Very consistent impact positions. And again, you haven't heard from this kid. If you're a golf nut like I am, you have, but most people haven't. And it's his first year on tour, and you're gonna hear from this kid. Again, unless his short game's faulty with this golf swing, it's gonna make up for a lot of things. Now let's get him here on the right here at the top. And down the line, but you want to watch something. Yeah, exactly. He sits down into it just a touch. Let's get him back up there again. Alright, now, again, he's still a little flat for my liking. When his rhythm is off and his timing is off, you're going to see these hands, again, from this position, they're going to be tacking the ball a little bit too far from the inside, and it's going to be a timing issue for him. Again, ideally, I like to see his hands a little bit higher, which will help alleviate that. But in any event, here's where he's at, Mr. Hahn. Now let's start his downswing just a touch. Let's move him forward. He's come down, he's lowered, compressed, if you will. Now again, he does not get stuck at all in this forward swing, and I haven't seen a lot of him swing yet, or a lot of his swings. But if this is his normal synchronization, he's gonna be very, very good tee to green. His hips have not outrun his arms and shoulders. Most of these good golfers, especially these young, skinny, strong kids, they get these hips firing, and these arms and hands are so far behind, and the shoulders are so far behind, they can't play catch up, and you end up hitting these push slices or pull hooks. But in Mr. Hahn's case, he's synced up really well. Quiet legs. I like to see that in the on-plane swing as well. I like to see the lower body, for the most part, are very passive, if you will. And they are in his swing. Let's take a look over here to the left. I'll explain that a little bit more in detail. When his hips do not outrun his hands. Alright, let's get this machine working here. Now, what I like to see in the golf swing, especially set up, is a little wider stance than what most people think is normal. And his is, he's hitting probably a 7, 8, 9 on there, and his feet are probably shoulder width apart, if not a touch more, which is good, because that's gonna help establish a good foundation for weight transfer. Now let's get him at the top. Looks like his legs haven't moved that much. Not real active is what I'm getting at. Let's get him starting down the forward swing now. Again, not real active. You don't see him taking off and running out a foul, so to speak. This left hip is it's not taken off out of position. The upper body has actually moved this way a touch to start the forward swing, which is, again, real good stuff. Here he is at the top. Here he is to start the forward swing. The lower body is real passive in this respect. It's a foundation for the upper body. Alright, hips don't take off out of sync. Arms and shoulders and hands come down. And he's very much in sync and impact. Now let me show you folks on the left one last thing about his forward swing arc, if we will. Let's get him set up at the top. Here's well, let's go halfway back. Again, I like to see early wrist set, and he's real good. I mean, he's got about an 85, 86 degree wrist set when the left arm is in the horizontal position. Let's get him to the top. Alright, looks like he's increased that even though a little bit. 64. Now let's get him start that downswing. Where is he at? Yeah, very similar. Alright, so that tells me this young man, James Hahn, on the backswing, he gets his wrist set and completed before he starts that forward swing. The wrist set has not increased angle. Alright, now that's a very good sign on my end to tell me that his forward swing arc is not going to be narrow. It's going to be wide, and it's going to have a very shallow impact angle, and he's going to be in sync, and that's exactly what I see here at impact. His lower body is very passive. His upper body is very much in sync with his lower body, and through the shot he goes, and that's a golf swing that's going to make money, folks. Again, unless your short game is awful bad, I expect you to hear a lot more from this kid. Again, in 2 tournaments, he's won almost $400,000, and you're going to see this young man win some money this year. I'm Patrick Damore here at Patrick Damore Golf Instruction. If you have any questions, drop me an email. If you have any thoughts about getting your swing analyzed by myself, drop me an email. I'd love to help you. Thank you.